Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and we're going to do yet another Grangestone product, another 50 mils. This is the Grangestone Highland Single Malt Scotch Whiskey Sherry Cask finish. Just got done doing the bourbon cask finish. Took all of 5 minutes, and that also included running upstairs to turn off the furnace. So really probably right around 5 minutes of content. So we're gonna have to do a little bit better, maybe give you a bit better review, but I'm not holding a lot of promise for this. Um, and Here's the thing. So we hold this up. I'm looking at all these. Uh, they're all pretty much the same color, but there is a slight difference, and I mean ever so slight difference, from the bourbon cask to the sherry cask, and from the sherry cask to the rum cask. The rum cask, that's this one, is actually the darkest of the three, but looking at them, it's kind of interesting, right? So they're all single malts, but they seem young in the fact that they don't have much color, which is not, untypical or atypical of a Highland whiskey, right? So they're not getting a very deep dark color to them. But it does have this really creamy mouthfeel. The first two did anyways, which is interesting because that does hint at some age of some sort, but I don't know how much age. It needs to be at least 3 years to come out of Scotland, and I think in the United States, no matter what type of whiskey it is, could be wrong about this, but I believe it doesn't matter across the board. Any whiskey needs to have. Uh, that's not true because American whiskey and corn whiskey and the other. I was gonna say it needs to be at least 4 years, but that's not true because straight whiskey has to be at least 2 years, but it still has to have an age statement. And anything that is young, that is 4 years or older, does not need an age statement on it. Now, I'm not sure if corn whiskey has to have an age statement on it, but here's how we figure this out. This is Balcones corn whiskey. Non-chilled filtered is always aged at least 6 months. Okay, so there you go. There's a corn whiskey that has an age, so there's no aging requirement, but if it's younger than 4 years, it still has an age statement on it. So I'm thinking this might be older than, that's a long way of saying this, by the way. This might be more than 4 years old, which is still relatively young. But, anyways, this is sherry cask finish. Slightly darker in color than the bourbon cask. Once again, 40%, so down at the bottom of the barrel, and also not sure what the price is off the top of my head, but I want to say that the bottles were somewhere in the $30 range for a bottle of any of these. But again, in the 50 ml bottles, these finished whiskeys are $2.19. The 12-year, the age-stated 12-year, was $3.19, and still proof down to 40. So take from that what you will. Let's see if this has any more nose in it than the other ones, because none of them have really had much to speak of. Ooh. Okay. I don't want to shred them, but my very first note out of there was this funky. They all have this dusty note to them so far, but like this funky, dusty, slight sour, almost vomity, but not quite. But this weird sour note. Now I just get like pine sol and malt. Lots of malt in there. Malt and pine sol, which is pine sol, or maybe like a lemon zest more than a pine sol, but a lemon zest. Um, but I say pine sol because it's almost like it has that piney, citricy scent to it. But there's like something, there's like a main something, and then just above that, there's that pine sol note. It's very interesting. It's like malt, a big something that I can't put into words, and then above that's this pine sol. But that big something has like a dusty character to it, maybe a little bit of fruit. Playing with that maltiness. It's interesting. I don't know. It's not what I typically find in sherry. Although you could convince me that it's like a dark raisin or a plum, which is what I do find in sherry. They're now kind of on the front end before you get into that malt. I get a little bit of those dark fruit notes. I don't know. We'll see what we get out of the taste here. I have no idea what's going on with these whiskeys. Okay. It is watery thin flavor profile for the first 3 beats. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing. That entire time, it has this viscous, creamy, almost syrupy mouthfeel. Then, just like all the other whiskeys, you get hit with this heavy malt forward note, just like a Highland Park. Then it transitions into its finish with just a couple of small little nyet, nyet, like dark fruit, raisiny kind of notes that are just there and gone so fast that you almost don't even notice that they're there before it finishes with just a little bit of ethanol and more of that just heavy, creamy mouthfeel. I would not say that the flavor profile is complex at all. Those are not words I would use. But there is more of a profile here than in any of the other two so far. And once again, it's not unpleasant. None of these whiskeys have been unpleasant. They're just A at 40% for starters, which, some of my favorite Islas and stuff are only 43%. So that's not saying a whole lot. But it's just this weird, watery, thin, kind of not a whole lot going on whiskey that I really, really think you could have brought more to the table. And it's kind of like, hey, we got all this whiskey, quick dump it into this sherry barrel for a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was, and then get it out on the market. It doesn't seem like it was something that was done with a lot of intent of finishing or adding a new layer or depth of flavor profile to. It seemed like an add-on. And so I would say that it doesn't, man, it just doesn't hit. And pine salt. Citrus pine salt, lemon pine salt. That is what I get every time I get in there. And I don't mean it in like a harsh chemical bad way. It's actually quite pleasant. It's just that's what I'm smelling. And malt. Lots of malt. Second sip wanted to give me a little something up front. It tried to present as a fruit, but it came out as a honey. Just a nice sweet note. Mid palate, you get some malt, you get graham cracker, and then there was just a slight blip like that of fruit in there. Again, I'm gonna go with a raisin on that, and then it just kind of fell off a cliff, all while having this nice, hefty, creamy mouthfeel. I like that. If you could take that mouthfeel, and I hate that I'm using the word mouthfeel so much, but if you could take that creaminess and put it into some of my favorite whiskeys, oh my gosh, would they blow everything else out of the water. So I don't know what or why or how they are coming up with that, but that's the thing that I like the most about all these whiskeys is that mouthfeel. Um, Simple, light, sweet. Um, there is a nice light. I've had enough sherry finish stuff that I could go, yeah, okay, that's sherry, but it's not like a heavy impact of fruit of any sorts. Um, but there's nice sweet notes. So far, I would say out of the three, this one's my favorite. this sherry cask finish. We'll get into this rum cask and we'll see what that has to offer. But go ahead, drop in the comments down below if you have ever had Grangestone sherry cask finish, double matured Scotch. I'm guessing if you have, you bought it from a Total Wine. I'd be curious to hear what you have to say about it. Hopefully you didn't buy a big bottle and you bought one of the little ones, but I'd like to hear what you have to say because I have not seen reviews of them really anywhere. So this is kind of the first leap into that. But $2.19 for a small bottle. So hopefully a 750 would be maybe in the $20, somewhere in the 20s. But drop that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Also, what you can find a bottle for in your area. I guess I forgot to mention that in all the other videos because it's been a while since I've done a video. But drop in the comments down below what you can find a bottle for in your area and where that area is. But yeah, if you're watching this, check us out. If you're watching this on YouTube, check us out on BitchUte or Rumble. Rumble is mirroring what you are watching on YouTube. If you are watching YouTube or Rumble, check out BitchUte because BitchUte, we are literally a year plus ahead in videos. So if you're watching this video right now and it is January or February 2023, you are definitely watching this on BitchUte. If it is sometime in 2024, probably fall of 2024, you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble. Which, hey, thanks for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. You guys have yourselves a great day. We'll catch you in the next video.